Okay, next thing we have is the audit committee preliminary report. We was audited by the state, and when he left in his exit interview, he said he considered us to be unfounded, which means there was nothing major wrong. The only comments he made, a constructive criticism, so to say, was that we go through our accounts with the checks and so forth on a daily basis and check them off to make sure what checks are in, what checks are out, and the balance and so forth. Martha does that on a daily basis, Monday through Thursday. But we didn't fill out a sheet that showed where we kept up with the checkbook and revised it and so forth. So he recommended that we fill that out and put it in the paperwork so that it shows that we are actually going back over and rechecking our checkbooks and making sure everything's up to date on it. There was no problem with the money, it was all in line, but we just didn't have it one page. So he recommended we did that. And then the other thing that he recommended is we have two people in the checking account, myself and Mike at this point. Of course, when the treasurer comes on, will be the treasurer. But he said with every agency, they recommend you have more people overlooking the money. And he said even with Doddridge County and every other county that he works through, that's always one of the findings, is there's never enough money over the money. A lot of people watching over the money. So he said it's one of those things where we put it on every one of them, but it's no big deal. I mean, you have to change anything, but this is what the state looks at, and this is one thing. But he found no findings of any fraud, negligence, overstocking of anything. We took it completely through the building with the supplies, and he was impressed and had no problem when we left. He said it would probably take 2 months to get his written report, but he would get that and get it to us. But he said he considered us to be unfounded, which is a good position to be.
By recommending more than 2 people, was he suggesting that there should be 3 people who sign every check? But that seems unreal.
Yeah, it does to me too. And he says it's even kind of funny, but the state says that because the state wants to see more people so that you don't have 2 people that can buddy up and say, hey, okay, let's go pay this bill and sign off on it and do something. But in our case, the board, anything over $1,000 approves. So it's kind of hard to do anything fraudulent or get together and do something as far as the treasurer and stuff goes.
They also suggested the same thing down at our fire department. They said that maybe if one person was out of town, then the agency could still function. Say Mike wasn't available and Randy needed something, 2 people could actually be there to sign the checks. They don't have to all sign the checks at the same time, right? You give the third person over there.
So that makes sense.
Yeah,
recommendation of 3 would be good.
Yeah.
And it distributes the liability, too, distributes the liability.
And we had, the last board, we had like 4 people that could sign checks. The president, vice president, the treasurer, and myself was on the account to be able to sign the checks so that if someone was out of town or on vacation, we could still pay the bills.
We put a board member, the budget treasurer, and the chief. So and it takes 2 of them to sign a check.
Okay.
And it takes all 3 of them to move an account or close an account or do anything like that.
My confusion was, in
Yeah.
the school systems, there's always been 2 people, the principal and secretary in individual school, who had to sign. But I was thinking, if they were suggesting add a 3rd, I knew it was, always hard to get those 2 together.
Exactly.
To add a 3rd, but what you're saying is add a 3rd, and we could do it.
Sign it if something wasn't
Not
there.
required. Okay.
But like I said, it went great. He was here for 4 days, and basically I just looked up the files, and he didn't ask for anything. I just said she's there, and he went through everything he wanted to go through, and it was all for him to go through. We pulled bank records for him, and he seemed pleased when he left. So, like I said, he said he considered it to be unfounded.
So Randy, the first part of the unfounded, it seemed like a simple fix, just having the paperwork to show what you did. Have
Right.
you put that in place?
Yes, and we've already started that. Matter of fact, we went back and did the accounts up to the present, correct?
Yep. Yeah, he showed me what he wanted. I went back physical year for last year and this year, got everything up to what, and he went over everything.
When will his audit report, you said it's going to take 2 months to get the written report. Is that 2 months from now or from when he finished?
When he finished it and got it to him, which he finished Thursday, he did his exit interview.
Okay, so a couple of months.
Yes.
And they'll go on the internet?
Yes,
Okay, on your website? I mean.
yes, on the website. Plus, he said we should get a written copy of it also. He said take a couple months. But like I said, that's a preliminary report that everything was fine, and found to be unfounded. So I'm well pleased with that. I knew he would, but it's kind of a relief to know that we're all good to go.
How did you do that? Did you go from like bank deposit gates and everything?
And with that, wow. QuickBooks is easy to work in. And he showed me how to do it without messing anything up and just go back. And go back through the months and then check it with the bank statements and it was perfect. I love QuickBooks. That's what I used before prior to coming here.
All right, any questions on the audit report? Yeah, I don't think we really need anything. As far as the other committees goes, we will have to actually put those committees together, but from the rest of the committee, there's no one here who's one of those who can actually address any findings or questions, concerns, so that'll be the only committee report for this evening. So we'll go ahead and move on to new business, and that's where we need to elect officers of the board. I gave you all a copy of the SOPs, bylaws of the board, and those are on the internet webpage, so you all can get look there too. But I printed off a copy for you all that would indicate the roles and so forth. And according to the state, whenever we do elections now, we can't really do the secret ballots and pen writing. It actually has to be a show of hands in order to be formal. So with that, you all can look at your bylaws if you'd like, but we need to elect a president to govern the board and be the key person in it.